But before you learn that, you need to learn how not to put your hands on clones. Did you know it's against the law to touch clones? So, before we continue, I got something here. Let me make sure it's all in here. Yes, it's here. You need to sign both copies of the documents.
Oh, what's this?
That say you will not put your hand on me again.
This. Stop playing with me. What the this?
It's papers to sign.
What you on, man? Stop playing with me. What you on, man?
I'm not on anything. I'm not on anything.
Stop playing with me.
I mean, you all know my history. I was, so you'll say you don't, okay. I was raised in a Jesuit orphanage in Canada, in British Columbia, and I spent from 1976 there to 1979 in this place. I've been involved with Opus Dei heavily. I've been involved with the Vatican heavily, and I was indoctrinated into MI6 SIS at 5 years old, and I was trained. I came over to England in 79. I settled into England in the early 80s with a foster family. That's the Casbolt family, and I was indoctrinated into that. I started live operations in my teens with them, and that was under the cover of drug wars in London and in areas like Brighton. I was given diplomatic immunity in my teens, and I killed my first man when I was 16 years old in Brighton, and that was a child porn ring that was being run there. There was a guy involved in that, and I shot him outside a place called the Shark Bar on the Brighton seafront in broad daylight in front of multiple witnesses. I've got over 200 confirmed kills since I was a teenager, all through the 90s, and from 2000 to 2012. It just carried on. I was genetically enhanced over a period of years, not just my mind, my body.
Right.
And on my records it says I've got over 200 kills.
Right. So it's saying that you've killed 200 people, even though that you're not aware of it.
Oh, I remember killing, not 200 people, I remember killing a fair amount of people.
Right. So
as recently as 2007 in South London.
Right. So, but this would be under some kind of mind control, so that you don't blame yourself for those killings then. You blame whoever's programmed.
I mean, I know some of the people I've killed. I know their names.
Right.
I mean, I can, and I don't. Some of them were terrorists, and I don't. No problem with me. No,
right.
I'd do it again if I had to, and I won't lose any sleep over it.
Right. So, how conscious were you of? I interviewed a guy called John Irwin, who claims to have had not the same, but a similar thing in the late 50s. Where he was fully conscious of everything that he was doing when he was murdering these people. He was just, it was, you know of John Irwin, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mainly the close combat techniques that were programmed into him, rather than the actual mission, So obviously, if you're going to go and kill someone, if you're conscious of it, how come you're not arrested and then banged up?
Because it's state-sanctioned executions.
Right. Okay. And how much are you doing it by your own volition then, and how much is it done because you've been programmed?
Well, it's all the lines are blurred now.
Right.
Whereas in the recent years, I've volunteered for some of it.
Right. So when
there's been a big war has broken out in the intelligence community, and where I'm having to take the fight to people now, or else I'm not going to survive.
Right. So when you've obviously throughout your teens and childhood, where did you grow up? Like say from the age of 10 upwards, where were you there?
I was being moved around the world, different countries.
All right.
Being trained.
Right. So when you've murdered these people, what was the technique that you've used?
Various things. 2007 was myself and another individual. We travelled. Well, I won't say where we travelled from, but we travelled to an area in South London.
Right.
And we were. I won't say too many details about him because it's not my place to speak for him. The guy that was with me.
So you were both in this mission together then?
Yeah.
Right, as a team sort
yeah,
of thing, right?
Twin team, yeah.
Right,
and
so what was the method of execution then?
Well, we waited in our car, MI6 Jeep pulled up, and this guy got out, gave us a briefcase, but before he gave us a briefcase, he gave us a trigger words.
Right.
Which, and it's not just trigger words, they use a combination of hardware to activate implants, but
right.
it's, you know, that state of mind that
they can put you in.
That I'll go into then,
right, okay.
which is I'll be very cold and efficient, and I'll just, all that matters is the target, the mission, that's all that matters, that's
right.
all that exists.
But what was the actual method?
Well, he gave us the briefcase that had a gun, Smith & Wesson. I was often given the same gun. It's a 9mm Smith & Wesson with a pearl handle on it, and it's got a symbol of a black dragon on the handle.
Right.
And I call that gun Drago.
Okay.
And I've used that gun
right.
many times.
So it's a shot to the head at close range then?
No, we went to a house
right.
and went in the house, tied a guy to a chair,
right.
put a pillowcase over his head, and I shot him in the face 7 times.
Right. So would that not be reported in the media? Would that not be picked up? Would local police not then be called? Would that not then, is there no prospect of that then getting out to?
I don't know. I've tried to research
so how would
certain
right.
killings, like certain things that happened in Brighton
mm-hmm.
when I was 16, 17 years old.
So you would then be picked up by, I mean, how would you then get away from the murder scene without being caught by the normal police?
Well, you just walk out.
Right.
Just walk out of the house, shut the door, get back in the car, drive to the operatives that gave the briefcase, give them the briefcase back and go home.
Right.
It's not really rocket science.
It just reminded me, actually, when you said it, I wasn't going to ask you, but it reminded me of that prophecy that's been going round, that somebody passed from me to you, and then there seems to be a lot of stuff in that applies to you, although it was given to somebody else who feels that, well, I wonder what your opinion was. I think he feels that he might have been one of the 42 himself, children.
A lot of people are coming forward saying they're one of the 42.
But you've seen the prophecy that he's had, and that almost could apply to all the 42.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
Would you say?
Yeah. What that reading?
Because I think that will be made public anyway soon, and will be. And in fact, the person we're talking about is going to be the subject of a basis interview.
Yeah, that was very accurate. And Daniel 12:2, you know, like it says. I'm just going to move this.
Does that relate to what's in that list? What was in that reading?
It's exactly because it says, at this time, Michael the great prince will arise. What they're talking about now.
Yeah.
And it's the same as the symbol, the Jesuit symbol is the sleeping lion in the orphanage in Canada. At some point, that lion's going to wake up.
Are you talking about the orphanages that Kevin Annette has been exposing as having? Are you talking which orphanage?
Oh, I grew up in an orphanage in Nelson,
right.
in British Columbia, in Canada.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So there's
the first 4 years of my life it was run by the Jesuits and the Nazis.
Ah, right, yeah.
And the symbol's a sleeping lion with the Jesuit motto.
It seems that the Nazis just infiltrated every power situation at the end of the war and kind of started running a lot of the world.
Yeah, well, what's interesting there is that the Nazis didn't infiltrate it per se. Hitler was under orders from the Vatican and under orders from the Pope to reclaim the lands of the separated brethren, the white Aryan nation. And his job, under orders from the Pope, was to unite all the white brotherhood from America, England and Germany into one.
Yeah.
So he was under orders from the Pope and the Vatican to do that. So they've always been one organisation, really.
Yeah, he certainly didn't accept that England was going to be fighting him, even when they declared war. He really didn't.
Because he didn't want to attack them.
Yeah.
Because they were, the Aryan nation.
Interesting. Yeah.
So are you saying that the fact that World War II was won, not Britain, the so-called West, the so-called American NATO and allies, or not NATO, the Allies, you're saying that the Allies didn't win World War II, that Hitler or the Nazis did win it and they took control of the associated countries like the United States and the UK?
Do you know what? I think it was fought to a standstill when the war was carried on from that in the unification wars even. That just happened in New York. That was the Nazis versus the Jews again, Nazis versus the Zionists. Or the Catholic Church versus the Zionists.
What particular thing in New York you're referring to?
The shooting on the night of the Blenheim Palace fundraiser. I've just done a video about this. I sort of interviewed, I just spoke myself on the camera. Yeah.
To my house.
Okay, so we'd gone in, Hayley, Deb and I, Peter Lydon got us in again, Princess Diana's cousin, and it was in Sotheby's. You saw the picture of me and the Duke, everyone's seen that. There was a riot outside when we got there. There was a riot happening, there was all police in that riot gear. It was the Occupy Wall Street people. It's going crazy outside there. So I walked past and this guy
in a
runs
penguin
up.
suit, great.
Yeah, I walked past and this guy runs up to me and goes, "Hey mother, are you going in there to count some money?" And then this woman runs up to Hayley and goes, "Fuck you and your jacket," to Hayley. But we ignored them, just carried on walking in, and then gone in. And there'd be they were auctioning on things like watches and stuff. And we had a dinner. We were sat to the left. Evelyn Rothschild's entourage was sat in the middle. It was Evelyn Rothschild, and there was about 9 of them sat there. And I'd gone in the toilet, and there was a toilet attendant. You get up toilet attendants, these places give you aftershave and stuff like that. And it was planned before all this, what was going to happen. So I'd gone in there, he was Opus Dei, toilet attendant.
Right.
Yeah, we were talking, and he gave me the green light. Gone in there, and there was a hollow compartment in the wall.
Was you just triggered at some point, and then you knew what to do?
Yeah, I got reminded of stuff.
But you didn't know when you arrived at that place?
Well, I'm always under a certain degree of hypnosis, or permanently,
Right.
So it's just, people tell you stuff, and then you just, you remember, of course, we had that meeting last week, didn't we, and we're going to do this. It's pretty simple, really, it's not rocket science. And it's pretty easy to hypnotise somebody. So there's a hollow compartment in the wall, pulled out as Heckler & Koch mini machine gun, submachine gun in there, and lifted up the system, Smith & Wesson, taped underneath it. Like that, just cocked the pistol, put it in my pants, cocked the Heckler & Koch, walked out, and he gave me the Opus Dei signal speaking in Latin. Everything's always in Latin with them. And just walked out, just with the submachine gun in my hand, and I got about 10 feet away from them, just opened fire on the table. And,
was this reported in the news?
No,
Right.
nothing reported whatsoever.
So you're saying you killed how many people?
Shot about 9, there was about 9, shot about 9 of them. Just emptied the clip, sprayed them. The people to the right, I was shooting them in the back, like that, around chest level. And then once you empty the clip, you always just drop the gun in these situations, you always just drop the gun on the floor. And then pulled out the Smith & Wesson and just emptied it in. I was shooting people in the face then, with the pistol. They were the ones facing me. And then the whole place just erupted in a riot, people running around screaming. It was just chaos. And I dropped the pistol,
And then you're always told to walk off calmly after you do the shooting. And we just got out of there, and there was a car waiting for us. But the riot outside was to cover up the noise and the chaos inside. What was going on?
So,
Now, there have
do you
been
feel
British
that-
soldiers
Okay.
and there have been American soldiers who absolutely think this is, you know, they really, you know, they're pretty, they think this is not true, and they think that you're bringing the relevant agencies and armies into disrepute. You know, oh, you didn't do this, whatever. What if you're talking to a bunch of guys who disagree with you violently about this? What would you say to those people?
Well, I'd say, you know, why would all this massive effort, all these people to bring me down, try and destroy me? It's a big network, it's a lot of effort. Why, if I haven't done anything, why bother doing all that? I've lost everything. I'm sat here with no money. And more importantly, I sat here with no family. And it's because it's revenge because of what I've done. But I knew it would happen. I knew there'd be fallout.
Okay, so
But the war's just beginning, Miles.
So, obviously, there's, in a sense, even only metaphorically, a war, there's evil and dark forces, and there are those that are struggling to bring the light. The sides in the war, but would you say that you were an unwilling participant for a particular side? Because would you recognise either of those sides? I mean, you're working for the Opus Dei against the Rothschilds. I mean, as a hired hand, presumably you don't want to further their causes as such. I mean, are you an unwitting participant, if you like? Is it something that you can't resist?
I support the Catholic Church because I was raised by them, and I support bringing forward the final Pope that's been prophesied.
I see. So you do.
I support
you do
that.
support
Peter
that.
Romanus. I support bringing him out because he can't. You know, the joke Pope. It's like Stan Laurel. The new Pope, Francis I.
Okay, I didn't look into it.
Well, he's called the joke Pope. It's like the Pope's supposed to have charisma, and
I was brought up Catholic too.
and he's just you know, that's what he's called, the joke Pope, because he's not the real Pope. The whole Catholic
I see,
Church,
yeah.
the whole world is waiting for Peter the Roman, Peter Romanus, and he's going to be the final Pope. He's going to be the man.
Right.
That's going to change everything, and that's who they were grooming in our orphanage.
That man.
That man, they said, we're going to create the most powerful man in the world. And it's only a small group of boys.
Yeah. And so somebody did refer to you.
And Michael Emerson worked for Opus Dei, and he referred to me on the radio show before he died as Peter Romanus.
I see.
And was talking. It all takes a bit of looking into.
Yeah, interesting.
And I'm an ordained priest. I was ordained as a priest in Fort Leonard.
Presumably not a Jesuit priest.
I was put into a military arm of the church.
Of the
on the
which
base.
church?
It's actually the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Right.
The Mormons. Yeah.
Is that the Jehovah's Witnesses?
No, it's the Mormons.
Right.
Yeah. I was ordained as a priest in there, and that was a stepping stone to have credibility with the Catholic Church. At some point in the future.
So
it's not like I'm done.
They're developing you in the kind of spiritual
Yeah.
sense as well as
It's not
military
even really
sense.
spiritual. It's just like it's kind of military and political.
Right.
You know, it's just like Donald Marshall talked about this. They needed a strong leader to talk humanity and the public through a alien body snatching crisis. They need to, which is happening now. They needed someone to come in and talk everyone through it, so people don't freak out and say it's okay, it is under control. We'll handle this. And this is what's happening now. But it's not like I'm not done now. It's not like all this has happened. I'm finished. It's just the beginning.
Sure.
So.
Thing is, the lizards. Okay, lizards been around a long time, like since before ancient Egypt and everything. And the symbol, you know, that eye, the eye of Horus with the squiggly hanging out of it, that has to do with lizards. It's a lizard symbol. It means two things. It's a pro-lizard symbol, and it also means beware, there's lizards here. You know how they cover up their one eye?
Oh yeah.
That means two things. That means watch out, you don't get the lizard to stick the thing in the eye.
Then they go, shh.
Yeah.
Now you know the reason they're doing that. It's like, don't get the thing in your eye, and shh. Don't tell anybody you know about the things that stick the things in your eye, because you might get a thing in your eye.
Man,
Or
who's...
killed.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning. Because I have to start speaking at conferences so people can see me and talk to me and know that I'm not lying. Can't keep posting stuff on Facebook. It's like, you can, but it doesn't come across properly in text. People need to see you like we're doing now.